All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at G2 vs Vitality. G2 vs Vitality. I didn't see the games, didn't catch the games. I just know the result. I don't know which games are won by who, but either way, a very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. Vitality had a real test. And I know G2 might not be in their best form, but G2 is the type of team to, like, when they need to strap in and focus in and hone in on a opponent specifically, they then tend to hone in. But I'm opening this game 1 draft and I see a Rumble together with Lulu Yunara. I personally don't like this draft.
Especially
I think that Yunara Lulu right now, in a lot of the matchups, takes a lot of time to come align. And I think that Lulu, Rumble, and Yunara have absolutely zero synergy, which I don't like. If you guys recall, the game that we won against G2 with Los Ratones was when they played Lulu Rumble in that match too with the Philios. And I don't think it's super exciting. Aurora on 4 with the flex could be an answer into the Rumble. They didn't ban Kisante, and then Vi Ari 4-5 into Aurora showing. So you can of course pivot to Aurora top and easily slam an answer into the, like you can play like Lissandra here for example. And they will. Lissandra of course here is very nice because adding CC to Caitlyn is super good. You're kind of, you know, durable, in my opinion, against Mercs. I don't think Mercs counters you, and I don't think Red Side Champs have a lot of room to buy Mercs either. I think it's solid. Any form of CC, good, follow-up, and then, of course, you're not a target for the Vi-Ari combo. So it means that, of course, Caitlyn will be targeted. I really like Bard into Vi too. I think this draft is very winning for Vitality, in my opinion. The only thing that you can argue for is that maybe Jarvan is a little bit soft into Ari, Yunara. But fine into Lulu, fine into Rumble, and very good into Vi, I think, if you have Prio, and in this case, you do have Prio. So let's take a look at how Vitality played the early game. Early trades looking good for G2's bot lane. Vitality fighting back, potion still on. Linsas with the map split, attack, blue into enemy red, Gromp. Very clever course of action. I want to check how they got the vision level 1. How did they get a ward on Vi level 1? Bard just fucking snuck in and dropped it. Yunara Lulu stand in lane, and then Bard just goes and gets information. And the thing is, Vi doesn't have an option. Even though she pings that ward, she doesn't have an option to pivot because, you know, she doesn't have time to pivot. Look at Jarvan now. He can open into top side and clear his camps. He can open into bot side straight. So many fucking options, an abundance of options. Here an angle could be easily to just do your chickens and then contest bot crab against Skimond here. And maybe Lissandra should have taken the time to put a better word. But Vi went to check the chickens. Good laning from G2's bot lane. And then bam, just a little first blood. Ooh, no first blood. That's not lethal. I feel like Skimon must... Oh, he had no E ready. If I pull up my camera, you're going to see that he has no E ready because he used it on the camps. I was surprised he didn't do the auto resets, right? He has no E. If he had E, he's dead. That's crazy. That is fun. That is League of Legends right there. Okay, so Ari flashed, Alessandra flashed, Skimond recovered, fine. As long as he gets his respawns, Jarvan goes and then is warding. He's gonna trap the Vi now. But Vi has solid items. She Qs over the wall, gets bonked. Mid is even. Rumble TP top on the match. But that Ruby Crystal is doing a lot of fucking heavy lifting here for Skimond. And that's a smite for Skimond. Skimond's very happy with this outcome. Lissandra commits all the way with her prio. Skimond flashes the Lissandra spell because she has no flash, can't follow. And then Linsas has no flash here. BB is murking him. Wow, that is crazy. I wonder if G2 could have just played this a little bit more aggressively. Skimond. I'm just trying to check here if Linsas was actually in lethal. Skimond has no spell, and then EQ lands, and then the Q into E, and Linsas does a lot of damage on the exit. It's crazy that this goes so well. And Agnako is clean that he holds ult here, because he has all the info. I like that a lot. BB flash was kind of ugly. Damn. What a win for Vitality. Okay, we portaled through. Labrov has to flash, no? Oh, not if a Q like this. Okay. Thank God. Flash's mistake got saved. That was holding R for so long. Okay. Was Naknako greedy? He didn't get the base in after the kills? See, how does Naknako not get a base right here in this spot? I think it's a mistake, right? He's so low mana, he crashes the wave top, doesn't base. Okay, he bases. Fleshy opens on top side. Very nice map opening from Fleshy here. Crosses into top side, doesn't get spotted on vision. The enemy bot lane assumes he went straight to lane. Caitlyn is freezing the lane, and then Fleshy is not spotted yet. Now he's walking on the boy, and Rumble is getting baited. Rumble went into the tower, so he dropped a lot of HP, of course, because he tried to cancel Naknako, and it worked. That's massive, by the way. Yeah, a lot of Lissandra plays don't buy a mana item, but she did get some buffs and mana cost that long time ago, which allows it a little bit more, but still something worthy to point out. Broken Blade is in complete shambles after that death from Bard. Proto belt finish for Naknako. Yeah, Broken Blade has no control over the lane. I don't know if he needed to flash that. I think if Rumble, maybe if Broken Blade didn't flash, but then electrocute procs and eat damage, maybe it's worse, maybe it's worse. Bard opens on mid lane. This map up I don't like. This is very greedy, right? Because keep in mind, here Bard knows enemy has full bot side vision, right? Bard is full, he knows enemy bot side has full bot side vision because he showed on top earlier. So Lulu could take over the map, Vi could take over the map easily, right? Because they're outnumbered on bot side. And then he opens through mid when Lissandra isn't even there. He could have even died, you know? But I don't like this map opener. I think he needs to go straight bot here. Like, he sold Caitlyn on eBay here. Broken Blade, maybe he could get away with the whole no flashing, but I don't think it would matter. I think he gets dove anyway if he wants to stay. But then maybe he can flash out as Rumble goes, and then he can ult the wave, and he can buy time. Luckily, G2 get full bot lane tower there with Yunara Lulu, which is really good for them. The 2k gold ahead on Lulu is... Yunara Lulu is very helpful this game, because you already have... Like, an additional detail is that Hansama is this far ahead with Cleanse. So it really denies a lot of what Lissandra wants to do, and Labrov can even add another layer, right? It's like... The best thing possible for G2 is happening, right? The fact that Hansama is very fed into the Caitlyn bot. It's also something that is like antithetical to how you want to play Caitlyn. Which I would say this game state right here that we're seeing, I think that the game state is very good for G2. I missed Assad, thoughts on the Vitality draft? I like the Vitality draft more. I think that Lulu Rumble is not good synergy. I think that Bard value is insane this game into Vi showing, and I think that it's not super easy to get a clean Vi engage. But if you're not in good conditions, then it's the best case scenario for, of course, G2. I don't think, especially Yunara is going to scale better with the cleanse, right? Because of the existence of Lissandra. You want to go polymorphed? Yeah, very strange ult usage and very, very strange play here. Like humanoid and the target selection here. It's like we're doing 2 engages at once. And then Bartle comes in to try to buy time. That's Mikhails as well for Lulu. 3 items for Yunara. I think game state is looking really lovely for G2. Alright, let's take a look at this Drake. The Thunder pushes top all the way. Rumble needs to collect. Good timing on the crash. The Thunder can now retake with Rumble catching top. They are 5v4. Aurora can TP back here. She TPs on the bot wave. I really like the segment here from Vitality in terms of the timing of when the top wave crashed, because the initiative on the wave that matters to be here first in river while Rumble catches is very nice. I think that G2's timing window here is not good. Like, look at Lulu's base. It's at 14 before. Aurora's going to TP, push another bot wave, and they're grouped here really, and Vitality gets prior on this wave while top is pushed too. I don't like that they commit so hard into bot side river that they gave up their mid turret. Once again, selling their Caitlyn. So Vitality, like, G2 is doing a soft contest, and they're gonna get mid tower off of that. Bard maybe will ult it. Look at how they are blocking. G2 is blocking Vitality from entering mid. I like that. Caitlyn has no mid tower now and no vision around mid. Like, she cannot connect to any of these things that are happening. Game state is looking good for G2, I would say. The item advantage on Yunara. They just need to have like good tempo for the objectives. Because full river control is always going to be belonging to G2. Because Caitlyn's always going to be second into a fight. And Caitlyn sucks ass if she has to walk into a fight late. She wants to always build a fortress. Yeah, this is just awful. I have to say, plain and simple, I think just awful play from Skimond. I think they are not playing off a wave information, and I don't know where Skimond is going. He just queued through here. Like, that's crazy. That is just nuts. And then Barult, of course, he doesn't even juke it. He could step forward, they could play time, you know. Like, Hansama gets to dodge it. And then maybe we could just slam Rumble ult here. He does. A little bit late. There was a frame where maybe it could have been better. And then Naknako with the fucking very nice engage and the dodge on Charm there is very nice. Hansi. Holy Hansama. Bah, 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 bah. Bah. Damn, Hansi. Look at the Hansi damage. Bah, bam, 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 bam. Holy fuck, bro. This looked like... for me, this looked like a decent fight. Like, after this knockup happened, could people have taken Portal faster? Could we have sent it harder on this Yunara that cleansed and flashed? Did Humanoid just troll by ulting himself? I understand cleanse went through, right? But I think that you can mini stun there off of the tenacity, right? And you wouldn't stun yourself at least. And then Naknako has no spells. Kazi's just late because he's Caitlyn trying to walk into a fight. Yeah, it looks like such a good situation, you know? Looks like such a good situation because I honestly look at this situation. I see that EQ on a Yunara with no flash, no dash, no Lulu ult, no cleanse. It looks like she's supposed to die. But Hansama just keeps fucking hitting and gets the Hex Optic reset. Is this a Penta? Yeah. I have to say, Vitality, I think their draft is very good. But Fleshy open on mid there, sold his ADC in a bad spot. I think that there was a lack of focus on the Caitlyn lane. Like, you can't give up Caitlyn like this. They treat the Caitlyn like she's Varus, you know? And Yunara got a full tower, got a dive. This was Kazi got sold on eBay. Take a look at the engage. Caps is 1 HP. Marek Brazalina flashes, catches 3. Hansama falls. Yeah, I really don't like how G2 is positioning. Look how everyone's playing in the same pocket, right? Defend whoever is the most important by playing off of his position. Like, if you're not going to go hit, play so she can hit. Don't play to everyone to hit. But if everyone's in the mindset to hit, you see that all players naturally that are good are going to flock towards the same pocket because they're tethering to the same spot. But it makes the break so much easier. Imagine Caps is positioning here, Vice is channeling Q here, then suddenly the break is not as easy because you're not going to latch on to everybody, and Hansama is more protected to react to, of course, Deathspell, you know? But here they're flocking all towards the same pocket because they're all trying to do the same thing. They should accept who is the premium, who is the king, who's the president here. Because that position is premium. This spot here that one player is standing in is a premium position. But you can only give that to one person because the break, the AoE, the engage is always going to have so much more value if you're allowed to play like that. And this is, of course, massive. Hansama has to push that play forward. And Kazama plays it fucking good. He chunks Kazi, pushes forward, dodges the Barult. He plays it as good as he could. But let's take a look at this Mikhails here. What happens to Labrov's Mikhail? Why does Hansama get cooked? Where is the Mikhails? Because the polymorph is nice. It's used. It's used for what, really? He just used it for slow. Not good. Because here, I think if Labrov has Mikhails, I think that Hansama just fucking murders all of them, no? But he just gets CC chained. Because the polymorph is nice, so he can't W into R. Crazy that this game continues with the condition of Yunara, but Yunara is like bomba clat. Yunara is Bazooka Joe, bro. Hansi. Bah. Holy, X-Optics. Holy, Hansi. Hansi's looking fucking clean, though. What a game from Hans. Really liking Hans. Another Nash. Inhib. Let's take a look at the Hail Mary. Yeah, it's like, I understand why someone might not like Vitality's draft. Because of the Aurora in, Caitlyn in. But if the enemy bot lane is ahead when you have Lissandra, Jav, and Kate Bard, like, you've just played it wrong, you know. Ari, where's Ari TP? I don't understand why we're walking. Is it because we have no Ariels? Is that why? He just thinks the play is without? Because look, Ari is walking all this way. And then we have the Bard ult on the follow-up. And then Skimon falls when Drake is alive. But Ari had no ult. Why did Ari have no ult? Because Ari tried to make a play on Caitlyn. We don't even get to see it. Like, look at the minimap right now. Look at the minimap right now. Ari tried to trap Kate and ulted out. I have no idea. This is such a unique scenario, bro. They don't even show it. And then Caps begins to recall with Nash and doesn't TP back because he has ult. Very interesting play here from Vitality to trap like that and to chunk Hansi. Proc his shield bow. And then obviously the Bard ult into K-Trap is just... It didn't even get K-Trap. Just got killed. And then the enemy has no jungle. Ocean Soul. Wow. What an engage from Linkas. Good Rumble ult. Ooh. Ooh. Jesus. Labrov is clicking very poorly, though, I'm gonna be honest. Labrov is clicking poorly. Hansama needs to push, right? If they're calling to contestants, then Hansama needs to push her, but Lulu can't get clipped by the same spells that Yunara gets clipped by, you know? She needs to just tether to Yunara and Polly, whoever comes, and play off of her flash and cleanse, right? But Hansi, like, if they're calling to fight this, Hansi needs to play the way he plays. Like, there's no other way around it. At least the Broken Blade Rumble saves the situation, so Yunara doesn't die. But still, she has no flash, no cleanse. Nash alive, 1 minute to Elder. Crazy that Vitality have stalled to this point, bro. Item parity for Caitlyn is actually, like, a thing. Even though Yunara was 3 items ahead. Now Caitlyn is, like, even. Yeah, Linkus has a smite steal. Bottled. Caps just trying to buy time. Caitlyn ult on Caps, 1 HP. Okan Khan, Hourglasses, Linsas has to ult, tried to look for smite. GA popped! Red team has slain. Hansi played such a good game, no? He played such a good game. But I also think that Skimon's Q here is really troll. Like, how can Vitality get a fight from this position, bro? Why do you give this at all? Vitality is just baiting them with Hourglass, with time, and they actually, like, get a good fight from this spot. I really don't like the play here. First from Skimon to Q. And keep in mind, we can pull the Drake just a little bit more, and then we can push her from this spot and keep them out. Broken Blade is doing a good thing here, in my opinion, because he's marking the flank. But here we can play in this space. Like, imagine, look how much space we have. I think also it wasn't good that Caps got chunked as hard as he did there to just charm the Bard. But the fact that G2 get engaged on in the pit when the enemy is on the other side of the pit, like, they shouldn't be comfortable at all. Like, imagine you position like this. Hansi is here and Drake is here. You pull it and the enemy has to go through this spot here. I think it's really... Thoughts on Vitality fighting from where they are here? They have no time, so they have to. They have Bard ult, so it's very specific. They have dashes. very specific, right? Aurora, like they're very mobile team. Like the wall doesn't matter as much, but it does turn into a front to back where they are face checking into G2, but it's happening the other way around. G2 is the ones walking into, G2 is the one walking into them. Imagine like you build a fortress. This is your fortress, right? And rather than staying in the fortress and letting the enemy attack you and cross your moat, you know, you cross over the moat and expose yourself. You get an arrow to the knee, you know. Wow, what a fucking game! We're just 46 minutes in. Don't end with Elder and Nash. Crazy. Ah shit! Here we go again. The whole Yamato advantage is just gone, bro. Look how fed this Kalen is now. Crazy talk. Yamato was 3 items ahead, and G2 couldn't close out the game. Because of small details too, you know. Vitality is really pushing. They are really, really pushing. They are really, really pushing. In terms of how they fight and the angles they're looking for and how they make you sweat. I like that. Vitality, like G2's making mistakes for sure, but one mistake is enough, and Vitality is just taking over a fight that they shouldn't have no business taking, which is super nice. Like here, the traps they're doing is nice. Naknako, that's the interaction that I think is very powerful. You know, bot into Vi. So you can always set this up and then Kael'Than trap the other guy, and then you can play. Yeah, Naknako hourglassed because he had a little frame to do it. Watch BB this fight. Okay, watching BB this fight. Kick. Bomba clot, bro. I think BB or no BB, like, he can definitely ult better, but I don't think it changes anything. Ocean Soul kind of nullifies him. Hansama is trying his absolute fucking hardest, bro. Is that Penta? No Penta. Bro, how many meeps does this bard have, bro? Yo! 50-minute game. How many meeps is that? Look, it's a fucking army of pigeons or whatever it is. Army of owners. I think if anything, it's just kind of troll that BB doesn't have like any magic pen yet. Like, how can magic pen be your last item and you're buying Shadow Flame, you know? I think that's kind of troll. They're buying Shadow Flame in such a game when you're not accelerated, when you have double AP. I don't like it. Alright, very fucking cool game. Cool game. I have to say Skewmond and then Hansama. Skewmond was a bit of a crime lord. Labrov not using Mikhails properly is also a problem there. Alright, let's see the final pick. This is a crazy fucking draft from G2, bro. Crazy fucking draft. I don't mind the Ziggs so much. We saw some experimentation with it, but I'm not so sure if Ziggs is useful, if I'm going to be honest, guys. I really can't tell. I really can't tell if Ziggs is useful. I am unsure about this champion. How's Ziggs doing? Ziggs is C tier, bro. Even in bot lane, he's C tier. His win rate is not doing that bad though, but it's just such a low. This is the last 30 days. Maybe Ziggs just gets paired with OP champs and solo queue. Anyhow, yeah, I'm not so sure if Ziggs is useful. But yeah, this is not the easiest draft in my opinion to play for G2, but a lot of comfort. This game all comes down to like how hard can G2 actually win the lanes, because they have a very snowbally matchups. So Linsas fakes going topside and then reverses and goes level 3 ganks. They Q flash and Hansama just accepts life. Honestly, is this just a dry 2v2 kill, by the way? Look how much damage they actually do. Look at that. This is just a 2v2 kill, no? Does Pantheon even need to be here? Hansama would have to like insta cleanse flash, like insta. And I think that's pretty hard to do against Rel Q flash W. And even then, Kazi can just flash Seraphine spell, and I think they just win. Okay, at least Kazi is playing a better champ to sell him on eBay on. This is so huge for the matchup. This is like a vintage Hilly roam, you know? This is Hilly-sang Season 5. Let's take a look at Ziggy. What happened to Ziggy during this time? Wave looks evenish. Ziggy didn't get cooked. I think Nagnaka having Ninja Tabi should shift the matchup. Caps fisting in the 1v1 even against no Magic Mantle. Respect to him. I don't know, they're going so deep, bro. I do understand why they want to take the fight, because here, before I saw Linsas, I would think that he is actually level 5. Because look, he's 43 CS, took his golem respawn, and he's level 5. Because of the bot lane kill. But I understand why you'd want to take a fight here as Qmon, because I would imagine that I have level 5 advantage, you know? Level 6 advantage. I would think that Linkas is like 1 XP away. And it's fucking close, by the way. I think that's why they are fighting so hard here. I think Skumon's read is off. They're sending a fight, and Ziggs is 6 as well. Like, very unique scenario too. Ziggs got a lot of solo XP. So he's actually 6. I don't even see what Humanoid did here. Okay, he forced the W. Humanoid got completely fucking neck snapped by Kapsuchungus. Okay. And then the follow-up ult on the Ashe. What fuck? That's fucking beautiful, Ashe. That's really nice Pantheon ult placement. Crazy. Seraphine has Flash. Flash has Pantheon. Holy Pantheon Ziggy has a layup combo. This was Skimond without Sound in the Sky, by the way. Fucking Zinza is so strong, bro. Yeah, but it's that XP advantage. Massive XP advantage. Did Panda get a single crab? I think he didn't get a single crab this game. Didn't get a single crab. 2 Drakes for G2. It was providing G2 so much pressure in this game. It just caps his full prio. It allows Qmon so many options. Because of the mid lane prio. Or Caps even commits here, bro. He just finds a fucking Mantheon doing Grump with no flash. Holy Capsimus, Primus, Decimus, Meridius. After the top dive. Gorgeous. Caps just wanted to help the top dive, you know. Found a little snack. And then we have a Yasuo here with no flash. Naknako, no ultimate, gets the DPS. Naknako Q flashes to get away from arrow. I don't know. Caps is making fun of them, actually. What the fuck? Rewind the tape. Let's take a look how he did this, bro. Hits the chain, clocks the chain. This is an Azir that went pro to belt first, that's getting fucking LeBlanc Eid. This is some sleepy gaming from Humanoid. Damn, my man's sleepy. What are your thoughts on Vitality's current form? I love their inshatterable confidence. I think that a lot of teams can make mistakes, players can make mistakes, but I feel like they really connect to the tune of the game. And they don't seem to be distraught by game state. Mechanical skill generates gold leads, and mechanical skill allows you to beat gold leads. And I feel like Vitality have that essence, which is super nice to see. Like obviously, they are very talented players. I think like mechanically, the 2 players that really stand out in my mind is like Linsas and Naknako, you know? I think Humanoid and Kazi, I think that they can be really good, but they sometimes are a little bit inconsistent, you know? Which isn't a bad thing. But Naknako has been a fucking champ on this team. I really like Flashy just fucking says go, 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 and he just snaps. And G2 have this habit of always playing in the same pocket, you know? In terms of how they position, pre-fight, during fight, this is something they can definitely work on. And I wonder if Skimond, if he just could have arted this earlier. Alright, snappy engage there. I just want to look at it from G2's lens. Like G2 have a wave coming right now. G2 have a wave coming right now. Ozzy just pushed. Their trio needs to be led by Zinzao. He needs to be the one getting engaged on. Like G2 is just so out of pocket. They need to just be on the mid wave and let Zinzao pair together with the LeBlanc because of how strong she is. They're just choosing to take the stand on the wrong pocket here completely. There's also Humanoid, the only wave he ever has prio on when LeBlanc is so strong. Bonk bot lane of the LeBlanc TP. They cross into mid. They got another one. Good driving. And then this is nice. This is a nice swing here because it's on Caps' timer. Gotta lean into your strengths, you know? Caps got to push the bot wave with the use of the Herald. Azir catches and then you send it, which is very nice. And now Azir is like low-key kind of freezing, so Caps is like, alright, let's fuck up the whole game. Damn, Naknako just fucking hates him. Jesus. Naknako, bro, like how much aura does he have, bro? Look, he's getting collapsed on by 3 people. But he's just trading with fucking... With the LB, and then he throws a house on Skimond, pushes him out, bro. If this Ziggs was awake, bro, if this Ziggs was awake, Caps could just die here. Imagine he's just right now, boom. He just fucking ulted on the W stun because he knows the ult is gonna come. That's death, man. Crazy. I love that. Nako keeps the tempo because he pushed and G2 needed the base. G2 opens full bot side because now was top side. Now collapses on mid, and now G2 need to exit. They could also trap here, Azir, if they wanted to, but Azir just lets go, doesn't take the risk, and now Nara is opening bot lane. Azir is getting very starved in these sequences. Azir gets to farm, like in this setup. G2's into, of course, the Nar. Like Nako just fucking dry ease and predictive Q on Caps' W. But W wasn't taken back from Caps. Caps getting healed by Labrovador, Q flash onto Caps. Greedy from Flashy. I think this was not a good break. Like once again, Azir is pushing top for free. You have all the time in the world to drop a ward on Drake. Like you can play time, you can play info. Don't need to snap like this. And he did it on a LeBlanc in this pocket here. That's a Q flash, and I have to say, he is in a situation like LeBlanc Wing at this exact frame is crazy, you know? Like he pretty much buffers it. If he W's any other time, like I think he's just cooked, by the way. That's a W buffer like he's fucking Tristana, bro. That makes like Fleshy's play even more reasonable, you know? Nara's bot lane, Mega is ticking. And then LeBlanc pushes a deep wave and G2 know the enemy has no vision. They didn't count any blue trinkets, but they have the pink wards. Ashe Seraphine ults for the turn. LeBlanc ready for the poke. Maybe he'll chunk Humanoid here. Humanoid spacing the E. Giving info for Flashy to enter. Yasuo does so much fucking damage to the Nash. And now the Pantheon ult comes through. Linkas is taking... Linkas just took so much damage for free. I think that Vitality won the position here if they didn't play it in such a conclusive manner. Because G2's position is very bad. I think Linzas' Pantheon ult here throws the situation. And Linzas turned it into 50-50 and made it even worse for him because he tanked the Nash. And a lot of damage before his E from the rest of the G2 squad. I think that Vitality needed to just look for a reset there and look what you could do with Ziggs and Ziggs cancellations and then take mid tower for free there. Would have been big. G2 gets so like this. Caps is looking for Kazi. Nice W cancellation there. And then Caps goes back. Tries to get Kazi. Kazi survives with 1 fucking health, bro. And G2 managed to kill. There's no Pantheon ult, no nothing. Linkas didn't want to go for the Chop Suey. He doesn't have any info, I guess. But he has blue trinkets. His team needs to give him info for blue trinkets. Don't you chase a fight here if you're Vitality? I feel like you should. Enemy LeBlanc dead? I feel like you should chase something here. Use your blue trinkets. I think Vitality played this a little bit too soft. A little bit of a donation, but G2 got soul in a game where soul actually matters a lot. I think this soul is very nice. CC chain onto Linsas. Seraphine. Damn. Bro, the damage is kind of crazy, bro. Look at the damage here on Linsas, bro. There's nobody to commit it onto him. So we have Arrow into Q3, into Seraphine R, into Seraphine E. And that's a... The LeBlanc chain just snaps his neck. And this is before Death's Dance, you know? Because he has no MR, no Mercs. I think no Mercs at this point in the game for Pantheon into this team. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, at this point, I feel like with Azir item, I think Blue Side's comp has just been completely outskilled. A little bit outskilled. People might think that LeBlanc doesn't scale good, but she scales very good. Especially into comps like this, where like any damage sticks, you know, it really sticks in this game. You find like a WQE and you land the chain, you take someone out of the fight at these points. LeBlanc scales very good. She's just weak into tanks and like a very sticky CC. So due to win, Capsimus Prime, easy MVP, easy MVP. I think that here in that game, I think that Humanoids got giga gapped. Nami first pick into Lucian Milio Slam. Into no Corki Ezreal instead. I kind of respect that, you know. I kind of respect that. Corki as a champion is not doing that well, you know. It's also Kazi after all. Let's take a look at something. Let's do some research here. So we got Corki, strong against Yunara specifically. Maybe Corki is just doing better than I expected. Okay. Let's take a look at the Ezreal. Damn. Ezreal's not doing too hot. Match list. Deokdam, Teddy, Fang, Shun, FPI, Ruler, B-Boy. Ooh, Ruler. Ooh, Deja Vu. That game was terrible. Well, maybe it's just a Kazi specific thing though. Maybe it's just me seeing Kazi Ezreal and I'm getting hyped about that. Maybe we should pull up Lucian as well. Pull up Lucian. I'm just looking at trends and what teams are doing. 50-50, very low sample. I think everything is with... We have it into Corki, we have it into Corki. We see it as a takeaway when Nami is in the picture, right? Or Nami into enemy takes Corki and then you take it away. That's the matchup we see always. How to find junglers that are good with Milio. I think that's the biggest problem with Milio in my opinion. Not a lot of champions actually synergize with this W spell. Like it's so specific. Everybody loves a shield and some AP damage on basic attacks, but W attack range, that is a big commitment. And even in this spot, right, it's like you're picking Lucian Milio, but the enemy is not showing you any big CC anyway. They're not showing any big CC anyway, so you don't get value. Like the enemy doesn't have a Lilia or some shit, you know. Kindred would go hard with Milio, but Kindred is hard to play into a lot of jungle matchups. And also, like, imagine playing Kindred into Syndra, Nami, Ezreal. I think that you will want to fucking stab yourself in the eye. Has to be one of the worst roaming 3v3 supports too, right? Yeah. That's why Xin Zhao is so broken, right? Because Xin Zhao is literally a spear. Like, you can put anything behind it, you know? Like, you can play Xin Zhao with melees, you can play Xin Zhao with Milio, and he will synergize well with Lulu, because Xin Zhao just wants to be able to stay in the fight. You know, anything that allows him to stay in the fight and rotate the spells makes him good. Xin Zhao, like, design is that he should be weaker in all-ins against bruisers, but the moment he isn't, he's OP, because he is weaker against bruisers in the all-in. Like, for example, Xin Zhao against Renekton. Renekton is better, but Xin Zhao has, of course, ult that gives him so much survivability, and he has more mobility as well in the way his E works with W, right? Obviously, Renekton has EE, but you know what I'm saying here, right? So we have Zoe, and then Dr. Mundo. This could be a Dr. Mundo top in the Sion, by the way. It's not decided. I think they're picking an AD jungle here, no? Aatrox. So it could be Aatrox top, I guess, into Sion. And then we have an Olaf. This is a double flex, by the way, from Vitality, because they can play Mundo and Aatrox into Sion. And then they're just choosing depending on what's showing. I don't think this is an exciting Olaf spot. I don't think Olaf is that good into Mundo. I think that they just try to get some synergy with Milio, but is that like a real synergy? That's not something I've seen a lot, so I feel like it's kind of fake. But maybe something in the stats is going to tell us something. And maybe we are going to feel inspired. So, good synergy. Good synergy. And let's take a look at the supports. Good synergy. Sorry, the junglers. Good synergy. So Belveth makes sense, right? Belveth, Nocturne makes a lot of sense. Fiddlesticks and Evelyn being so high is very strange. Warwick somewhat makes sense, right? Warwick somewhat makes sense. Ramos just OP? Where on this list is Olaf? Where on this list is Olaf? Let's do Olaf and then good synergy. Do people just not play Olaf? Brand, Seraphine. This one makes sense, right? Seraphine makes a lot of sense. Tarek also kind of makes sense. Milio, all right, Milio's in 54. Why did this not show up? Why did this not show up? Wait, it's not jungle. That's why. It's not jungle, it's a fucking top laner. Good synergy. That's why. We're looking at top... well, even here it shows. 52. It's not the most exciting. So it seems like Milio is doing best with tanks. Do we have room for G2 to pick a tank? No, they need an AD jungler. If we look at the AD junglers that are possible, if we look at good synergy. Good synergy, AD junglers. Nocturne is banned, right? Wait, Nocturne. Nocturne was available. Nocturne was available. Kindred pretty good. I think Kindred sucks ass. I think Kindred is very bad, guys. How does Kindred play into Syndra, Ezreal, Nami? You get touched by one spell and you're out of the fight, you know? Doesn't sound fun at all. Yeah, I'm thinking Nocturne. I don't know, Nocturne is just so good into Syndra showing. I feel like Nocturne is just the go-to pick here, no? Nocturne into Syndra showing, Stridebreaker, the Ezreal, latch onto him, into Nami too. You get the Milio W to pump. Maybe make D2 plus over Emerald. No, it's not necessary. We just wanted the big sample size. Like, I'm not saying, like, just so everyone's clear, I'm not looking at this and saying, oh, look, Nocturne, so high win ratio, GG, lock it in. I am looking at it in the sense, I'm looking at this for inspiration. And then, obviously, I'm applying my own logic and sense if it's going to make sense. I'm not saying, pick Ramos. Obviously, Ramos will suck donkey balls here into Dr. Mundo, you know, it would be ass. And fucking Syndra, whatever. I just think here, looking at all of the details, Nocturne looks fucking powerful here. Nocturne is good against Aatrox, is evenish against Mundo, in my opinion. And then I think it's really good into the bot side too. But yeah, I would favor the Vitality draft here. I think Olaf is out of place. Not a super big fan of Lucian Milio as well. Wait. You just get bomba clotted like that? Well, Jim Banjin was picked. Wow. He's got full combo dried, pulled by W chain, and he got lethaled. Yeah, I don't like Wukong as much because I think into Mundo is just too trash, in my opinion. Okay, so Olaf got him back top. Okay, he got him back. I don't know. I feel like the only time we see Nagnaku getting cooked is when he doesn't base. I swear. That's the only time we see him getting cooked. Danish mid laners, Turkish top laners, Polish junglers, French ADCs, and importer support. Linka's just clearing. Scaling is heavily red side favored, so not being in any fights at this point in the game is indeed correct. Because Ezreal Nami is a scaling lane, and Mundo's scaling, Syndra's scaling, like Zoe's better, like all blue side champions are literally better in the first 15 minutes of the game in a big skirmish. If you can keep them in lane and give them objectives, not lose camps from Mundo, you are happy. I don't think he has bad wave management. I think he's just greedy. He is shitting on everyone in lane. 60% of that is lane management. Just so we're on the same page semantically. Yeah, I think this should have been Nocturne instead of Olaf. We talked about it extensively. Honestly, kind of based item from Linsas. Heartsteel is a very premium item. You're not looking to bonk a lot in this game. And as long as he goes into, like, armor next, I'm happy. Like, Nako's hugging the wall because he's looking for a flash. How are we getting so aura farmed? Why are we not playing this? Skew doesn't play Nocturne. My brother, if you don't play Nocturne, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, Skewmond is so good on so many champs. How can he not play Nocturne? That's crazy. Do they see Linkas? No, but look how much wards they have. How are you not running this Aatrox the fuck down right now in this spot? Trimby was saying on broadcast that Vitality is kind of a one-dimensional team. Do you agree? No. I think that in terms of how they played their mid game and late game, it's very streamlined. They always play two lanes, 1/1 limping freezing. In that regard, a lot of teams are one-dimensional then, you know? But I think in terms of how they play their early game, Flashy is very dynamic. They play on mid, they play on bot, they play on jungle. I think they are very, very dynamic. The way they're getting their leads is very honest. I can understand why people say that their mid to late game is one-dimensional. Little stun, drowsy, caps. Did Labrov just look at him? Look at Labrov cam. He just looked at him. Yeah, that is quite dry. And honestly, if you die like this with Zoe, your game is over. Zoe needs to gain traction level 1 through 5 and hope. And then the rest of her lane phase is hoping she fucking finds summoners. That is a side eye, bro. Okay, G2's actually buying a lot of time. Oh, is that Scorch? No, it's Death by Torch. He's so fucking rich after the first blood. Damn, so rich. What the fuck? He's so rich, guys. Yeah, I don't feel like necessarily this is Lucian related. Like Lucian into Koki and Ezreal is quite comfortable for Lucian. You know? No way we finished Thornmail. It's okay, I think. You get a lot of armor buying this item. And the combined cost is very cheap. Like the combined cost is non-existent. Yeah, but he wants to buy MR. Like completing the item to buy MR, I think is fine. I don't think that the damage from Thornmail is also non-existent, you know? It's like, look at Thornmail combined cost. So you have Bramble at 30, 40. You get 5 armor for combine. No health. 5 armor for combine and an increased value of thorns. You also need to think about your space economy, right? We have a situation where the Scion has full inventory. That needs to be relevant to the equation. If you are, I could see the argument to be like, yo, he could just keep Chainburst, Bramble, then go into Spirit Visage earlier, or wherever he's going, Yakshu, and just keep Bramble, fine. But I don't think that the damage effect is useless. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just offering the other angle that I don't think it's as horrible as it seems. Early Olaf Milio, guys. Olaf Milio. Missed an undertow. I like mundos that don't buy Deadman's Plate. Based. Spirit Visage. Double dipping the synergy. I feel like G2 has already lost the game. They didn't do anything. Mundo is even. Naknako's ahead. Ezreal even. Syndra giga far ahead because of the solo bolo. And Vitality has 2 Drakes. I think that this game will probably end with fucking no kills at all. Nobody's gonna die ever, and G2 will lose fights before they start. And then the moment Mikhails is finished on Nami, you can just Mikhails the bubble, and that is all she wrote, no? E over the wall, Kazi 1 HP. No ult there for Caps because he was ult to E in the first place. Naknako, level 16. It's crazy the top players on level 16 at 22 minutes, bro. Boy. Naknako getting marked by a broken blade, but who is really the one doing the marking, mate? Conquering up. Linsas with the smite. I just have no form of engage, you know? Their engage is Zoe bubble. And Olaf getting angry. Naknakako. Olaf getting angry. That's the engage. Bubble lands. Can't connect with the Q. Paddle star. Nice. No kill gaming. I'm not worried about G2, guys. They were 1 damage, 1 game off lethal. I mean, 1 game off of not getting through, so. What do you mean? They lose to Fnatic and Vitality. What do you mean? What do I mean? I'm saying that G2 are fine. All I'm saying is G2 have time. They have games. It's all good. I wouldn't get stressed over G2 anytime soon with how the standings are looking. They played 3 series out of potential. They have 6 more series to play. And they have some complete Goomba free wins there, bro. I don't even think G2 needed to beat Genji to get Grace. They ran the whole league after looking rancid in the regular split in Winter too. I don't know, G2 just has draft problems similar as Winter, bro. Insane draft problems. think they need to figure out what Caps is supposed to be playing, and they just need to focus on making sure that the jungle mid duos are good again. I think that stylistically, Navi is very free for G2. Stylistically, I think Navi cannot beat G2, in my opinion. Navi is way too standard. They don't add any additional flair to their game. Like, if you just look at what G2 has to play, right? If you look at G2, what they have to play. So G2 has played Team Heretics, Vitality, and Fnatic. Okay, they're currently at 1 and 2. They have Shifters, SK, Movistar KOI, KC, NAVI, GX. I think that NAVI, I think that's a free pickup. I think Navi's 3-1 is quite fake, if I'm going to say so myself. They stole a win off of KOI, and I think that I don't think Navi is... I think Navi is solid, but I don't think Navi is super impressive in my opinion. GX, I think, can lose to themselves, but I think that considering GX currently, Jackis is playing some of his best league ever, I do think that it gives them chances. Because I think the biggest letdown of this team, GX, in most cases have been Jackies. But if Jackies performs better than Caps, I can see an angle. But I think that G2 is going to make it no problem, bro. It's top 6 cutoff, bro. Top 6 cutoff. That's a big fucking ask, you know? Really fucking fun series, bro. Really fucking cool series.